What to do, YouTube? MGM for life here, back again, bringing you another set of YGOPro duels. This time I'm using a new deck that I've been testing out, and it's been testing out really well for me. And it's a sort of, I don't want to say GOAT control, but it's a GOAT control theme deck. But I really call it token control because, as you'll see in the videos, that Scapegoat is only a part of the control aspect. I use another interesting aspect that I don't think a lot of people are definitely not using. So we'll get into the first battle as soon as the replay loads up. So going against my opponent here, he's playing some sort of TG synchro. You can see as you can see his hand. He just ends his turn immediately because he has Gores, and I'm just gonna go card D. That activates the effect to draw 2, and I had Tsukuyomi, so I already decided I was going to discard that. I didn't really want to set any of my creature swaps or anything like that and have them get Space Typhoon. So I drew into another one, so I discarded. Now next turn, now I'm actually forced to set the creature swap now because I really don't have anything that I want to do in my hand. As you can see in my hand, you see the Flute of Summoning Karibo, and you're probably wondering, what the hell is that? And you'll see how it works in the deck. But he ends up going for formula, draws one, and then ends. I thought he was going to go off when I saw the formula, but it's cool. Now I'm going to normal summon Tsukuyomi just to flip. I had to flip something face down, and then I just wanted to creature swap. So now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to creature swap my Spirit Monster and then get it right back to my hand. Then he goes for DLS. I drew into Karibo, so that was kind of the worst. I don't really like drawing into the Karibo, but it's not bad to draw into Karibo. But now I draw into the card that I definitely need. So Flute of Summoning Karibo, summon a Karibo, and then go for multiply. Send the Karibo to the graveyard and get 5 Karibo tokens. And this is the token control that I'm talking about. It's not really GOAT control, but the great thing about multiply is that it doesn't have the restriction where you can't summon other monsters the turn you activate it, like Scapegoat does. So as you can see, I creature swapped his BLS, and then I was still able to summon Plasma. So just in case he had Gores, which I kind of figured he did from turn 1, I can negate that effect and then just take it during the main phase 2. But he does Veiler me, so I'm not able to take it. But it's cool, bro. I'm not even worried because I have Dark Arm, so I'm gonna drop Dark Arm and then just get that Gores out of here. So Plasma is really good against a lot of decks. Plasma shuts down a lot of decks. So now I told him in the chat it's basically Dark Hole or nothing, and he says, "Oh, are you sure?" So he's gonna go make a nice sequence of plays here. So he's gonna go for the Scrap Dragon, and none of this would have been possible if I had taken his Gores, but since I didn't, he now can attack over the Plasma since it does not get the attack boost, and then go main phase 2, Scrap Dragon pop, and it basically was, which one do you want to get rid of? Which one's a bigger threat? So he obviously chose BLS. And looking at, I didn't know what it was in his hand, and since he popped the BLS, I kind of figured that means his back row wasn't much. But I just popped it just to be safe, and look, good on his part. Good play on his part. He sets a chainable trap. But now I figure, hey, I can go for game. I'm gonna pop both your cards. Then I'm gonna normal summon Vylon, Prism, and then go for Armades and get a 3300 Armades. And that way, even if he has Gores or Trag, if he drew into it, he can't. Well, not. Gores, but if he has Track, he can't stop it. He can't drop it because Armades' effect will prevent him from doing that, and then Dark Arm will attack him for game. So that was a good game, player. And on to the next one. This guy's playing some sort of something. I don't even know. He plays Dangerous Machine Type 6, and I'm just going to check out this card, show you guys what it is. It's basically like a dice roll, and you get random effects depending on the dice roll. And unfortunately for this guy, he doesn't get any of the good dice roll effects. So I'm going to set a card, and he actually allows me to draw a card. I'm going to set the Scapegoat. Now during his end phase, I'm going to activate the Scapegoat. Now the reason why you have the great thing about, or the hindrance of Scapegoat, is that you usually have to activate it during your opponent's turn because you can't summon the turn you activate it. So that's why Multiply is so good. So I'm going to stack 3 for Plasma, and then take one of his cards just to see what he's playing. I didn't really care if he Nerf Force me or something because I do have I have Gores and Trag in hand, plus I have Dark Arm, so that's fine. Then he activates Swords of Concealing Light, which I thought was very strange, but it's cool. I'm not really going to do anything. I'm just going to normal summon Vylon Prism and go for an Armades again, and then get that Vylon Prism to boost his attack by 1000. He's going to activate Zoma right as I do that, so that way he will be able to have some defense before I attack. I'm not going to attack into Zoma because I'm not really interested in taking 3300 damage. Now he's going to activate another Swords of Concealing Light, then attack over my Plasma, which is really a big threat to him, so that was a smart choice to attack over it. But I do have the Tsukuyomi in hand, so I'm just going to flip his trap bait face down, which actually puts it back into the spell and trap card zone, then attack him for 1100, and then bounce back to my hand during end phase. So as you can see, it's basically a GOAT control themed deck, so you use Plasma instead of Thousand Eyes Restrict. you know, to take their monsters, and then with Tsukuyomi, the shenanigans happens. Now, here he summons Zoma in defense mode and doesn't attack over my Armades, which I really thought was very, very strange. So now he's going to, he's expecting the Tsukuyomi, he's going to activate the Fiendish Chain, and that's fine. I'm like, it's cool, bro. I'll take Zoma. You can have my Tsukuyomi. There's no effect now. So I creature swapped the Zoma, so now it's just out of the way. And then now he's going to summon Giant Germ and actually attack over the, choose now to attack over the Armadian. I guess he didn't know how much defense it had, and now he's forced to Lightning Vortex it, which is perfectly fine because that means that his Zoma will not get its effect to damage my life points. So I'm just going to set the multiply and then go for the card D, and I draw in the Flute of Summoning Karibo plus a enemy controller, which is perfect. Not really afraid of him OTKing me because I have Trag, and plus he's playing some sort of weird something I'm not even worried about. So now this turn, draw to a card D. I'm going to go Flute of Summoning Karibo, Special Summon a Karibo, and then I'm going to go for a multiply, get 5 tokens, and then I'm going to, I believe, go for Plasma again. I think that's what I do after I get these 5 tokens. No, I'm going to enemy Econ. I'm going to Econ. Oh, that's right. I wanted to take my Tsukuyomi back because I wanted to put 3 Darks in my graveyard for Dark Arm, and the only way I could do that is with Tsukuyomi. So I'm going to do a Plasma, take his Giant Germ, then Dark Arm, pop everything, and then just attack. But he randomly has Battle Fader, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm just going to get that off the field just in case you want to like Caius me or something, or Ryza. Really don't want to run into that, but then again, I do have Plasma, so I guess it didn't really matter. I didn't really know what he was doing, and I just didn't have any time for the shenanigans, so I just popped it. It probably wasn't necessary, honestly. So now I'm going to attack, and I attack with Dark Arm first because since he has a spell and trap, dead spell on the field, he has to have Gores if he has anything. So when you're in that situation, it's best to attack with your strongest monster first, unless you know that the Trag they will potentially drop. You have to use your biggest monster to attack over it. But in that case, I didn't need to do that, so I got the most damage impossible. Then I'm just going to pop the back row. Turns out to be a safe zone, so he's going to chain that and then get rid of my Dark Arm, which don't really care about. I'm going to normal summon that Violent Prism and then just attack to finish the game off. So that was an interesting match. I don't really know what this guy was playing. Maybe some sort of stall something. I have no idea, honestly, but that's kind of that's sometimes those are the type of players you get on YGOPro. So this guy, what was he playing? He's playing Morphtronics, and this deck, you know, you might laugh at it at first. At first glance, it's like a crazy deck, but that can really sack you super hard, especially with this Morphtronic Self-On. Unfortunately for him, he didn't really get that, you know, the broken like 6 die roll. And then once they get out that Power Tool Dragon with multiple equips, that thing is a big threat. So I'm just going to normal summon the Prism and then attack over his Self-On because I do not want to leave that thing on the field. But unfortunately for me, he does have the spell that revives one of the Morphtronics. And then he's going to go, I believe he gets a 6 this time, so he's going to reveal the top 6 cards of his deck and then special summon one Morphtronic. And he's going to go for that thing. I think it's the one that allows him to attack directly. And then he's going to basically synchro for Power Tool. And he's going to add I think it was he added a Now That We Stand to his hand. Then he special summons another Self-On, trying to go for some more sacking, but unfortunately he doesn't. He gets a bad dice roll and bad reveal, so he doesn't get anything off of that. Then he's going to go for some more shenanigans with the Remotin. Basically, Remotin banish a card from his graveyard to add 1 to his hand. Then he's going to synchro summon for Armory Arm and equip that to his Power Tool Dragon, and then equip United We Stand to just do some massive damage. He does 2,600 to me. I'm going to drop the Trag. I debated on whether or not to drop the Trag because I knew it was going to take a lot of damage because of Armory Arm, but I ultimately dropped the Trag just because I wanted something to just card for Caius as I draw into the Caius, and I'm gonna draw into Caius. Banish that thing. What's the thing? Power Tool Dragon has the effect to protect itself from being destroyed by sending an equip, but since Caius doesn't destroy, it vanishes. He does not even care about Power Tool Dragon or how strong it becomes. So now he's gonna go for Self-On once again, try to get some packs going with the Self-On dice roll, and I believe he gets a scope in off of this, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I know he gets some. He revealed the scope, and I was surprised he didn't go for it. But he goes for this monster instead. Goes for United We Stand to boost him up, and then he's just going to attack, and doesn't quite finish me off because the Self-On has like 100 attack, so it's weak as crap. So now I get the creature swap, which is perfect. So I can go Flute of Summoning Karibo, and this is again great. Oh, this is before I changed my deck. So before I changed, I actually was using Wing Karibo because it was light, so it worked with BLS because I had BLS at first, and that was before I knew that you actually couldn't use Wing Karibo with Multiply, because I figured they were both Karibo. What does it matter? But it mattered, so I do have the Scapegoat, so I didn't want to activate it that turn because I wanted to summon Caius and get rid of his monsters. So I'm going to summon it this turn and then go for Creature Swap, and then I got a Plasma as well, so I guess I'm just going to summon Plasma now and just take his monster. If he has Veiler, it's fine because I can still creature swap. And now I'm going to attack him for the game. But yeah, that's something I learned, that you can't use Multiply with Winged Karibo. And I actually took BLS out and put Dark Arm in. So that's why I have Dark Arm. The other duels that you've seen were obviously after this one. So I learned something new, which is cool. It's nice to learn something new on the end. But so now I'm going, going up against Inzektor. So finally against a legitimate deck. And Inzektor's can potentially be a really big threat this format. So he's going to go first, go for Duality. I think he picked up a Centipede off of Duality. He has a Hornet in hand, so he opened pretty nicely for Inzektor. He's got the Gigamantis as well. I'm just going to go card D, draw 2. I didn't really want to put anything on the board. I think I set the Scapegoat. But he's going to go Hornet, pop that, or no, I set the Pluto Summoning Karibo, that's right. I basically wanted to bait out the Hornet, the Hornet, because I know with the Centipede he's going to add the Dragonfly, and then I'm just basically planning on maxing that, and just basically baiting him out to pop all my cards so that I can go for Dark Arms. Since I drew into the Trag off the Maxi, which is perfect. I'm just going to drop it because I know that now he's forced to activate that Hornet effect to pop it, and that puts exactly 3 Darks in my graveyard, so I kind of hit him with the Okie Doke, setting him up for that. And I have everything in my hand that I need, so I'm going to go Fluid Summoning Karibo, summon the Karibo out, and then go Multiply and get 5 Karibo tokens. And then I'm going to proceed to go for Plasma, and you know, Plasma just wrecks Inzektors because Inzektors can't do anything without their effects. And it's basically, Plasma is just like a skill drain that only affects them, and that really hurts Inzektors. So now I'm just going to go pop everything, pop, and since I have only special summon, now I'm going to go for Armades again, and Armades Vylon Prism is a really nice combo because they can't respond to it, so he's going to have to take at least 3,300 and then at least 2,700. Then it's going to attack, and then that was game. So this deck isn't really meant to OTK, but if you're drawing the right cards, you can OTK because Plasma just skill drains their field, and that deck like Inzektors that needs effects, that functions off effects, is just killed basically. They're gonna have a hard time getting over Plasma unless they draw Dark Hole and they or like run Mirror Force or something. But that was that duel. Good duel. He got OTK'd unfortunately for him. But now we're gonna go up against Gimmick Puppets, and this Gimmick Puppet player wasn't as weird as the last one. He actually made some legitimate moves. So he's gonna go for he's gonna trade in the Necro Doll. Now I don't particularly like Necro Doll. When I play Gimmick Puppets, I did play it without the Necro Doll because I didn't really like the fact that you had to go for a Gimmick Puppet XYZ with Necro Doll. Gimmick Puppet XYZ aren't really that good. So here I make a stupid play here. I think, was this the match that I made the stupid play? No, it's not. So I'm just gonna go for the Karibo, normal summon Karibo, then Multiply, then go for Plasma and just take that the Machina Fortress. He does not get his effect to look at my hand because his effect is negated, so that's another great thing about Plasma. He loves Machina Fortress. So now what he's going to do here is going to summon the Machina Fortress, and then he's going to lance me. Now I didn't really feel like this lance was necessary because Fortress's effect activates in the graveyard to destroy a card, so he didn't really need to do that. Then he goes for Dark Flat Top, so I guess he did make some weird plays. I lied to you guys. He made some strange plays here. I mean, I guess I can understand that you know, maybe he wanted to, you know, have a monster on the field, but then he went for Dark Flat Top, which I guess is a 3K defender, so it's not the worst thing in the world now that I think about it. It is a 3K defender, and if I had been to go for Plasma again, it does have 0 attack, so maybe that's what he's thinking here. Because so I guess the play, it's not as bad as the other plays that some people were making. So now he's gonna go for the Gimmick Puppet of Strings, put string counters on all my monsters, which I really don't care about. I drew into a card called Quick Booster, and I'm going to explain that card later, but what I'm going to do here is basically move the Karibo token to attack mode and just give it to him, and then I'm just going to attack for game, so he ends up scooping before that happens. And this is the last duel of the video, and I can't remember exactly what it's against. Oh, Black Wings, okay. And now this guy, you talk about some weird card. This man was playing extremely strange cards, so I'm just going to set one. Past turn, I believe I set the Mystic Tomato, and he uses some Blackwing card to destroy my monster in defense mode. Then he's gonna go for Blizzard, and then go Black Whirlwind, and summon. Then he summons Flamvell Urquazos, which I didn't understand why he didn't go for the level 6 Synchro Armed Wing, I think. And now here, as soon as I activated the effect to negate and bring the battle damage to 0, I just realized, wow, I had Karibo plus Multiply in my hand, and I just kind of wasted it. So that was the mistake that I made with the Karibo. And I was like, I didn't even need to do that, and I ended up taking 21 anyway. So that was kind of stupid. I should have saved that Karibo, but I do have Trag, so I'm going to drop the Trag on that Flamvell attack, and then I'm going to I believe I go for. I'm just going to attack because I didn't want him to. I wanted to see what his back row was. I do have the scapegoat, so I'm not really worried if he like mirror forces or deep prisons me or something like that. And so now he's going to set another card, and I'm pretty sure I thought those cards were Icarus attacks because he didn't activate them, and you know, when you play Black Wings, you always expect the Icarus basically. But at this point, if they were, I figured they were Icaruses, and I didn't really mind because I do have a chainable spell. So now he's going to summon Zephyr the Breeze and go get his Black Whirlwind searches. And it's at this point that I thought that he might Icarus me here, but he doesn't ever end up Icarusing me. But he summons like some crazy stuff. Then he activates this weird trap, which is basically just like you gain life points equal to the monster's attack and you send it back to the hand. And then he's shuffling one. He's doing all these weird type of things. And he summons Gale, and he's like, I was like, I don't get what you just did there. And I'm just gonna re-drop the Trag. And I knew he was going to activate Gale's effect to have, but I have the Veiler, so I'm not even worried about that. And I think at this point, I think I decide to activate the Scapegoat. No, I do not. Never mind. Excuse me. But I drew into Fluence of summoning Karibo, which is really good. So I've got plays for days, even if this attack doesn't go through. Still, I'm still waiting for the Icarus. I think that's why I didn't activate the Scapegoat, because I just wanted to kind of plus off of his Icarus with the Scapegoat. Now he's going to go for Black Whirlwind after summoning the Shura. Going to add a Kalut, and I believe he added another Blizzard to set up for next turn. Then he's going to synchro summon for Armor Master. He's going to attack into me and drop the put the wedge counter on me. And now I activate the Scapegoat. That's right. And now at this point, I was pretty sure it wasn't Icarus because I felt like he would have used it. And so, but at the same time, there was still a chance that it was. So I wanted to Scapegoat him, kind of get him to bait it out. But I really didn't think that he would sacrifice his Armor Master to go for it. So here's where I try to bait out the Icarus. I'm going to go for Caius and banish that card. Turns out to be nothing, basically. So now I'm going to go for Plasma now and then take his Armed Wing. I figured, hey, if he wanted Icarus and sacrificing his Armed Wing, I would be completely fine with that and then just wait for him to get something else. But that's it. So now that's the duels on YGOPro. So now we're going to get into the deck profile. So go to the deck edit and see. And we really don't want battling boxers. So token control. There we go. Thank you. Alright, so here's the deck. So we've got 2 Trag, 2 Plasma, 1 Dark Arm, 1 Gorge, 2 Caius, 2 Vylon Prism, 2 Mystic Tomato, 2 Tsukuyomi, triple Card D, 2 Max D, 2 Karibo, 2 Veiler, triple Creature Swap, 1 Dark Hole, triple Fluid of Summoning Karibo, triple Multiply, 1 Quick Booster, triple Scapegoat, and triple Enemy Controller, and then just Synchro, you know, Star Eater, Mistworm, Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, Colossal Fighter, Stardust, Black Rose, Gaia Knight, Orient Dragon, Hyper Librarian, Armades, Cataster, Armorion, Mistborn, Colossalus, and Formula Synchron. So those old days where your extra deck was all synchro. So anyway, I'll explain some of these cards. Trag is obviously obvious. Destiny Hero Plasma is kind of the boss, one of the boss monsters of this deck, the main boss monster of this deck. Really, really good card. Allows you to, it's kind of has the function of the old Goat control with Plasma and Tsukuyomi. You know, you Plasma take one of their monsters, Tsukuyomi flip them face down, flip Plasma back up, take another one of their monsters. Kind of how you go. Kind of how Goat Control used to function with Thousand Eyes Restrict, kind of similar to that. But I like Plasma's effect better. Basically, it just skill drains their field, and the great thing about it is it only skill drains their field, so you can use all the effects you want, but they can't use any effects. And if you take one of their big monsters, like taking their Stardust or taking their Machina Fortress, it really, really hurts them. You know, and Plasma boosts up to like 3,000, 2,700, 2,800. So now you've got a 2,800, basically Abyss Gaios that, you know, lasts forever until it's destroyed. That's really tough to get over. You know, certain decks like, you know, Inzectors, which I had a video against, like they can't do anything without their effects. So skill drain really hurts them. And now we have Dark Arm. We play a bunch of Darks, and that's why Dark Arm's in here. It's a really good, powerful card. Obviously, Goy was obvious. Caius, because Caius works really well with the Creature Swap and enemy controller. You just take their monster, tribute it for Caius, and then banish another card on the field. Caius is really, really good here. Vylon Prism. I really like this card because with Scapegoat, it's basically you have access to rank 8s, 8s and lowers, because you can use all the tokens to make an 8, or, you know, 7, 6, 5s. You know, you have access to all of those with Vylon Prism, Scapegoat during the end phase, and then you can, you know, summon whatever you need to get over at the time. It's really, really good because it's easy access to Crimson Blader, which we all know is an amazing card this format. Crimson Blader shuts down Dragon Plants all by himself. I mean, Crimson Blader is just a really, really good card. The double Mystic Tomato is basically another way to get the Karibo. Just in case you have Multiply in your hand, Multiply plus Mystic Tomato will work just as fine as Multiply plus Fruit of Summoning Karibo. So Mystic Tomato functions as sort of a Fruit of Summoning Karibo. Tsukuyomi, I already mentioned, basically is here just to work with Plasma. That's why I only went 2. I might even take out 1 to put in BLS. Although the reason why I took out BLS, I was playing him originally was because I was playing Moon Karibo, and before I found out that it didn't work with Multiply, so I only have 4 lights, so I didn't really feel like BLS is going to be live that often. But most of my duels, when I don't take them out, I always have lights and darks in my graveyard. And then as soon as I put them in, it's like, oh, now I never can draw into my light. So it's kind of one of those things. So then triple card because this deck doesn't really have much draw power. I'm not playing Pot of Duality because I honestly didn't really feel like it was necessary because I'm playing a triple card plus 2 Max C. So this card really works, especially if you can get it drawn to a Gorz or a Trag first turn in this card. It's really, really good. Max C is obvious to stop those special summon heavy decks. Karibo is one of the main cards in this deck because it works with Multiply. Karibo is the great thing about Karibo is a hand trap, so it's not a super dead draw when you get it. If you don't get it alongside Multiply, it's not the deadest draw ever because you activate its effect in the hand to reduce one of the battle damages from an attack to 0. So you can save that. You know, it can really save you. So drawing it is not the worst. That's what I like about it. It's not like one of those cards where it's like, oh god, I do this and now it's completely useless. And Effect Veiler, another hand trap. So basically, Karibo functions as far as, you know, like a Veiler or Maxi as far as a hand trap is concerned, so that's really, really good. Obviously, creature swap. You're with Scapegoat and plus Multiply. So your opponent summons anything that you don't like, just take it. That's what you just take it. You know, they summon a Stardust, summon a Star Eater. This one Dragon player rage quit so hard against me because he summoned Star Eater, and I just creature swapped it, and he just quit after that. So creature swap really pisses people off sometimes, especially if you take something like a BLF, like the duel where I took that guy's BLS, just completely changed the game for him. So Dark Hold, obvious. Fluid Summoning Karibo, basically just a free Karibo from your deck. There's also an effect to add 1 to your hand, but you're probably not going to be using that effect unless you really desperately need to take 0 damage from an attack. It might save you in that aspect. So it has multiple functions. But mainly you're going to be using it alongside Multiply to get the Karibo and then get the 5 Karibo tokens. So the great thing about Multiply is that, as I said before, is it doesn't have that restriction where you can't summon other monsters to turn you activate the effect. So you can Fruit of Summoning Karibo, then activate Multiply, get 5 tokens, and then Creep Swap and Enemy Controller to your Heart's Content, and then summon another monster. So Tribute Summon for Caius, Special Summon, Plasma. So Multiply is a really, really amazing card. Now this card is the one-up tech that I have. It's called Quick Booster. So this card basically, you activate it and you can add a quick play spell. You can shuffle it 1 quick play spells into your deck. So you can recycle Multiply, you can recycle Scapegoat, you can recycle Enemy Controller, you can recycle Fluid Summoning Karibo, but that's really not what you're going to be using it for. It really works really, really well alongside Card D. So first turn, you have this card plus Card D. As you all know, when you activate Card D's effect, you don't do anything to your hand. You'll have 7 cards at the end phase. You'll have to discard, so normally you would set 1, Card D, draw 2, and you're fine. So this is the perfect card to set because since a lot of decks are maining triple Space Typhoon, the secondary effect of this card is when this card is destroyed and sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you can add 1 quick play spell from your deck to your hand except Quick Booster. So all you do is you set it, card, draw 2, your opponent spaces it, and then now you can add Fluid Summoning Karibo, you can add Multiply, you can add Scapegoat, you can add Enemy Controller. So it's basically a way to search out, you know, the combo pieces that you need. So if you have Karibo in your hand, but you don't have Multiply, you can summon, you can set that, hopefully after they destroy it, you get to add the card you need. So it's really, really good, but I think, you know, more than 1 is definitely not necessary. So Scapegoat is obvious. It functions the same way as Multiply, except you don't need Tribute in order to activate it, but it does have that effect where you can't summon other monsters to turn you activated, so that's why you have to use it. It's really, really great to activate during your opponent's end phase. And then lastly, Creature Swap. Creature Swap is definitely not Creature Swap, Enemy Controller, sorry. Enemy Controller, really, really amazing card. You can use its effect to take control of opponent's monster and tribute that monster, or you can use it to change their battle position, as I used it to move that Dark Flat Top to attack position and attack over it, or you can move an attacking monster to defense position to save yourself, and I actually forgot to do the side deck, so I'll just kind of do the side deck right now. So the first side deck card I would probably use is Jinzo, just because, you know, against those, there's a lot of decks playing traps, like mainly meta decks like Evil Swans and Constellars. They really like to play heavy traps. Plus those, like, you know, those Rogue, Stall, Exodia, Burn decks, they really like to play heavy traps as well. Any deck that likes to play heavy traps, you can use Jinzo. A really, really good card. It works similar to Kai. You just take their monster, then tribute it for Jinzo, and all their traps are useless. Another deck that works amazingly well against is Infernities. It's super, super good against Infernities because they're going to set all their stupid ass traps, and then you're just going to take their monster and then just tribute for Jinzo, and they're going to be very, very sad because all their traps are useless now. So Jinzo is definitely a card to put in the side deck. Another card I would put in the side deck is Flying Sea. Flying Sea. Definitely a really good card to have in the side deck. I'll probably run this in 2, so I'll probably run maybe 3 Jinzo, maybe 2 to 3 Jinzo, 2 of these, at least 2, and basically it stops Evil Swans and Constellars, the main meta deck. So any deck that likes to XYZ, this deck really, really shuts them down, and it's going to be tough for a deck like Constellars or Evil Swans to get over a card like Flying Sea because they can't XC summon at all. So not just it's just a monster on the field, but they can't XC summon, and it's not like those decks play stuff that you can tribute this card for. So it's not good against dragons anymore because dragons like to synchro hard as hell now. But it's really, really good against Evil Swans mainly. That's mainly the top deck that it's really, really good against. Another card, I would obviously side in the extra Veil and extra Max C, just in case. So, you know, 1 Veil and 1 Max C. So how many cards is that? I'm just going to talk about cards that you can side deck. Another card, what's the XYZ Encore? If I can spell that right. Encore. Yeah, this is another card I would probably put in too. It just goes along with Flying Sea, just in case, so you're not relying only on Flying Sea to shut down Evil Swans, because, you know, if you don't draw it, then you just lost. So Evil Swans really, really hurt this deck because of the pandemic. You know, feature swapping won't even matter because pandemic just stops that. So XYZ Encore, really, really good. Probably would side 2 of those. Another card I would probably side is Starlight Road. Just because Black Wings and their Icarus attack turbo, I mean, I would side in probably 2 Starlight, maybe 1 to 2 Starlights, just to side in against Black Wings. Against dragons, you definitely have to side in Imperial Iron Wall, if I can spell it right. There it is, Imperial Iron Wall. Definitely a card that you should have in your side deck because it shuts down dragons. That alongside Crimson Blader, and they just can't do anything. So I probably would put that in 3 because you definitely need to draw that card. Trying to think of any other cards that I would probably side deck. I mean, what other things are probably also, I'll talk about the bad matchups for this deck. So the bad matchups for this deck probably would be Mermails because it's just like Mermails don't really care about Plasma. It's just, oh, I can't use any effects, no big deal. All my stuff activates in the graveyard anyway. So I would say that Mermails are a tough matchup. I mean, you can still creature swap and enemy control them, so you still have a way to play with them, and then obviously Caius. So Mermails are definitely a tough deck to go up against, and I'm not really sure, you know, what you can actually side in for this particular deck to make it a lot easier to deal with Mermails. So you guys can tell me what you think. How would you side in? What you would side for Mermails with this deck. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that other good stuff, and I'm out of here. Deuces.